Hello, welcome to my sewing room today. I'm so excited. Today is our first Technique Tuesday. We're going to be pressing today and we're going to be doing a little webbing. To get a very accurate block and the best precision and accuracy you can get, it's all about the pressing. Not everybody understands the importance of pressing. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to maybe learn a few new things. Maybe you'll already know everything, but that's okay. A good reminder is always nice to have. So today we're going to be using with these little 2.5-inch charms that I got from the Fabric Hut in their rainbow mini charms pack. It is so much fun. Look how cute that is. So much fun and so many things you can do with just these little 2.5-inch squares. So let's head over to the sewing table and see what we can get done today. Well, as I said, we're going to be playing with these little mini charm packs today, little rainbow charms. I thought that would be very fun just to do something very simple with them. I suppose I could put them in rainbow order, but I think I'm going to just kind of play and move them around a little bit till I get something I kind of like. Let's move that one up there. The bright yellow in the center. Okay, there we go. Good enough. Okay, so what we're going to do, the importance of pressing. If your seams don't lay completely flat, you're going to have a lumpy quilt. And if you don't get them pressed all the way out, your seams won't be accurate. So the first, of course, we're going to make sure we have a nice 1/4-inch seam. I'm going to just do the 3 on this side really quickly here. I'm going to just butt this one right up to the one that's already in my machine. Just keep them nice and close together and butt them up there. And I'm going to do 3 of them. The reason I'm doing 3 is this is kind of a little 9 patch here, and I'm going to show you, as well as pressing, I want to show you how to web your block together. And for the easiest webbing, butt this seam right up next to that one, so there's not a whole lot of space between them. Okay, there we go. Now I'm not going to use my starters and stoppers today just because I want you to make sure you can. These are small blocks and I don't want to confuse them with the little teeny ones. Okay, so now we have these 3. I'm going to leave them hooked together, but I am going to take them over to my ironing table. Let's see if I can get my ironing board. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring my ironing board to me. Instead of moving the camera, don't drop the iron. Okay, bring the ironing board up here where you can see it really carefully. I'm just using my little Oliso. I like having a little mini iron by my sewing machine on my wool pressing mat. Those are 2 of my favorite things. You know, the name brands are nice, but I also have a little one I got at a big box store for $12, and I love it too. So it really doesn't matter which one you get, just a nice little one that gets nice and hot. Okay, so with pressing, this is a step a lot of people miss, and I miss it a lot too because I get in a hurry. But one of the important things about pressing is to set your seam. Hit those little seams really quickly with the iron while they're closed. And what that does for you is you have your stitches going together like this. And when you set the seam, it locks them in so that they don't pull. Have you ever had a quilt that you see those little white lines when you press it open? That's because the seam hasn't been set or your tension's off. So by just doing a real quick touch down on it, it sets that seam and prevents those threads from showing. Okay, now these are straight seams. We're going to talk about pressing a bias seam another day, but today we're just doing straight ones. So the thing that people automatically just do is just kind of roll it over and shove their iron in point first. And that's okay, but when that point hits here, this point is really nice and folded all the way over, but these might not be out here. So what I recommend you do fold it over, and as you're folding it over, just take your finger and give it a little smoosh, and put it where the dark fabric on top, because you want to press towards your darks most of the time, or whatever fabric your pattern tells you to point to. So just take it and run your finger over it, and that just kind of gives it a little finger press, and see how nice and even that is now. And then run your iron sideways over it. And I just start at one end of the fabric, go slowly, and there you go. And it's not giving any stretch any direction. It's just a nice straight seam. Now on this one, the green is my darker fabric. And in order to nest these seams, I want every other one to go the opposite way. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll it to the green, using my finger just to kind of press it down. Takes about a second more, but you know what? To get accuracy in your quilt, what's a second here and a second there, right? Okay, so now that one's going this way, and I'll take this one. I can get my fingers to work today. Take it and just kind of roll it over so that it's nice and flat, and the side of my iron versus the point, just like that. See how nice and straight those are? Nobody is pulled sideways or anything like that. So these look great. And then we take our next three pieces, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lay them on top, just like that. And we are going to sew down this side. Let me move my ironing board off of here real quick so we can do it. And away we go. There's the first one. Now again, I'm butting this right up to the edge of this piece, right there, so there's no space in between it, or just one stitch of space. You don't want a long tail there. For two reasons. One, it wastes thread. Not a whole lot, but it does waste thread. And two, when it comes to webbing, they're going to hold together really, really nicely. Okay, now because this is a block that something else is going to go across this end, I don't have to do any back stitching. My rule of thumb is if something's going to cross over that seam, I don't back stitch. If it's an edge where the quilter is going to have to deal with it, then I do. Okay, we're back to pressing. My pressing mat up here again. Love this wool pressing mat. And those are available through the Fabric Hut if you are interested. Okay, again, press it out. Use my finger to kind of flatten it out. I'm going to skip this one because we want it to go the other direction. I'm going to get this one out. There we go. Okay, now for this one, because I want it to go the other way, I'm going to just flip that seam over and press it out with my fingers. And then I can come at it this way. Okay, let's look at the back of that and see what has happened here. Oop, I got one going the wrong way. Let's see what I did. What did I do? Oh, I wanted to go, wanted these in. See, now I got myself confused and I've got them all going the wrong way. Because we did this one in, we want to do this one in. So now if you've pressed and you got it the wrong way, like I just did, everything's going to, you just reset it nice and flat and start over. So this one we want to press in, so we're going to flip it so that it's going in towards that blue. And we're going to flip this, or leave this one out, and we're going to open it up so we can press towards the purple. And then one more time, press it in, give it a little finger press, and go in. Okay, now that back should actually look like what we want it to look like. Okay. See how these are in, out, and in. Now it makes it very easy for us to nest our seams because we don't have a whole lot of space here. When we flip this together, they are automatically going to be held pretty close together, right, like that. And they match up perfectly. Move our mat again. Oh, drop the iron. That's not a good idea. Okay. And we'll just go right down this side. Make sure, check with your finger, make sure that's still nested really nicely. And then on into this one. You notice I'm holding it with my finger to hold that down. You also can use a stiletto so that the seam doesn't get caught, or your seam ripper, or any way that works for you. And there we go. We'll do that one. Now I'm not going to worry about pressing this one before I do the other one, because there's enough space for it just to lay out. And we're just flip that over, get those nested again, and then we will go for the next one. And that one's coming towards me, so it's not so hard to make sure that my foot doesn't catch it. Get that pressed in there right. There we go. A little stiletto out here. This is a homemade stiletto, so it's very cool, but it's not on the market. It was made by a family member for me. Okay. Now see how using that little tiny stitch in between, it gives us these nice perfect points. Okay, now let's press this. And how are we going to press the big one like this? Very same way. We're going to decide which way is the best to fold it. It looks like they automatically want to go towards the end. So let's do that. Let's not fight it if we don't have to. Fold it over. Give it a once with my finger. After I haven't set my seam yet. Set one. Set two. And then fold it over with my finger and press it down. Again, I set that seam already. Fold it over and go over and over. I'll use my left hand so you can see what I'm doing. Now, you don't want to do this on your block. That will sometimes, depending on how big of bumps you have, when that iron hits a hard bump, it's going to move the fabric. So it's going to stretch them and make them a little wonky. So up and down, up and down, up and down. I hope that helps. I hope that's given you a few ideas for your pressing. The last thing I like to do after I've pressed them and they're really still nice and warm, let me get this one warm again. You know, it lays so pretty and flat right now, but as it cools, it'll sometimes warp back out. So just take it and put it under your pressing mat and let it cool underneath while you're working on your next block. And when you take it out, it's going to be completely flat and it's going to hold its shape flat. So hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions on pressing straight edges, you can always send a message to the customer service number, and then we'll give you a hand with it. Thanks for joining me today.